Connected to iPhone.
Tacoma for just $309 a month.
iPhone, ready to pair. Connected to iPhone. Connected to iPhone.
But in the Eastern world, there are different ideas of this. Think of it in this way. Supposing I make two statements. Statement one. After I die, I shall be reborn again as a baby, but I shall forget my former life. Statement two. After I die, a baby will be born. Now, I believe that those two statements are saying exactly the same thing. if we think of death as endless darkness, endless nothingness is not only inconceivable, but it's logically absolutely meaningless. Because we aren't able to have any idea, much less sensation of nothing, unless it can be compared with a sensation of something. And therefore, I think what is meant is that the vacuum created by the disappearance of a being, by the disappearance of his memory system, is simply filled by another being who is I, just as you feel you are I. You can only experience this I sensation in the singular. You can't experience being 2 or 3 eyes all at the same time. Now then, it seems to me that this idea has very important consequences. One is that the disappearance of our memory in death is not really something to be regretted. Of course, everybody wishes to hold forever to the memories and to the people and the situations that he particularly loves. But surely, if we think this through, is that what we actually want? Do we really want to have those we love, however greatly we love them, for always and always and always and always? Isn't it inconceivable that even in a very distant future, we wouldn't get tired of it? And this indeed is the secret of the thing. This is why the demon of impermanence is beneficent. Because it is forgetting about things that renews their wonder. Just think, when you opened your eyes on the world for the first time as a child, how brilliant colors were. What a jewel the sun was. What marvels the stars. How incredibly alive the trees were. That's all because they were new to your eyes. Or in the same way, you know how it is, you've been reading a mystery story. And you're looking around the house, want something to read, you pick up an old mystery story. If you read it years and years ago and you've forgotten all about the plot, it still excites you. But if you remember the plot, it doesn't excite you. And so, by the dispensation of forgetting, the world is constantly renewed, and we are able to see it again and again, and to love again and again, to have people to whom we are deeply attached and deeply fond, always with renewed intensity, and without the contrast of having seen before, always. Another consequence of this is a very curious realization to me. Who would I be if my mother had married someone else? These are the kind of questions that make us puzzle profoundly about our existence. I might so easily have been born in China and India. Why do I feel that the world is centered in this place, as distinct from some other place? In other words, you jolly well know the world is centered where you are. There is consciousness anywhere, that is I. You then, in a way, look out through all eyes, and that perhaps is the secret of the great virtue of compassion.
When your own inner sense of identity changes from being the separate individual to being what the entire cosmos is doing at this place, you become not a puppet, but more truly and more expressively an individual than ever. everybody, if we transfer this to the dimension of spirituality, where the highest ideal is to be unselfish, to let go of oneself, when you are trying to be unselfish, you're doing it for a selfish reason. You can't be unselfish by a decision of the will any more than you can decide not to think of green energy. There is a story about Confucius, who one day met Lao Tzu, who was a great Chinese philosopher. And Lao Tzu said, "Sir, what is your system?" And Confucius said, "It is charity and love of one's neighbor and elimination of self-interest." Lao Tzu said, "Stuff and nonsense. Your elimination of self is a positive manifestation of self. Look at the universe. The stars keep their order. The trees and plants grow upwards without exception. The waters flow. Be like this. All your nonsense about elimination of self is like beating a drum in search of a fugitive."
When the police arrive on the first floor, the thieves have gone up to the second, and so to the third, and finally out to the roof. And so when the ego is about to be unmasked, it immediately identifies with the higher self. It goes up a level.
friend who was studying Zen in Japan, and he got pretty desperate to produce the answer of who he really is. And on his way to an interview with the master to give an answer to the problem, he noticed a very common sight in Japan, a big bullfrog sitting around in the garden. And he swooped this bullfrog up in his hand and dropped it in the sleeve of his kimono. And then he went into the master, and to give the answer of who he was, he suddenly produced the bullfrog. And the master said, too intellectual. In other words, this answer is too contrived. It's too much like Zen. You've been reading too many books. It's not the genuine thing. So after a while, you see, what happens is this. The student finds that there is absolutely no way of being his true self. There is also no way of doing it by not doing it. Let me, to make this clearer, put it into Christian terms. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God. Now, what are you going to do about that? If you try very hard to love God and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? You find out you're doing it because you want to be on the side of the big battalions. You want to be right. After all, the Lord is the master of the universe, isn't he? If you don't love him, you're going to be in a pretty sad state. So you realize I'm loving him just because I'm afraid.
Yo, what up?
pretty lousy love, isn't it? And you think, that's a bad motivation. I wish I could change that. I wish I could love the Lord out of a genuine heart. But why do you want to change? See, I realize that the reason I want to have a different kind of motive is that I've got the same motive. So I say, oh, heaven's sakes, God, I'm a mess. And will you help me out? Then he reminds you, why are you doing that? Now you're just giving up, aren't you? You're asking someone else to take over your problem. So you suddenly find, you see, you're stuck.
Yeah, I went to bed early, yo, like, I don't know, probably like 9 something, yo. My back was hurting, though. Yesterday at the gym, so I've been trying to lift a little bit heavier at the gym, and I don't know, I really just been going by myself, and I didn't have a spotter yesterday, so on the incline bench, I think I was doing like 185 on the incline, and I think I pushed myself too hard, and on the way back up, my left arm went up higher than my right arm, and I fucking felt something twist in my back, and it wasn't bad, but throughout the day, it's like, it got worse and worse and worse yesterday.
So in this way,
and so like,
what is called the Zen problem.
6 o'clock, I was fucking laying on the heating pad. I'm good, yo. Yeah, I was laying on the heating pad like around 6 o'clock and fucking fell asleep like 9 o'clock and then woke up a little while ago. Yeah, I tried to get all that shit squared away from yesterday too. That shit was crazy, yeah. Oh boy, so obviously you guys see I do have a real fucking life outside of the studio, and the shit is a fucking drama mess. I swear it is, but yeah, so that's some other personal shit. My God. But this one, Jason. Oh, this is, I don't give my art away. I wish I could just like, here, have it. But this is actually a commission from a young lady in Virginia. It's her and her brother. I know that's fucking right. But yeah, this is her and her brother. He passed away earlier this year. So his mom contacted me, and his mom had me do a portrait of him. And I actually just shipped it off yesterday. And so it was all complete. It turned out really, really nice. I was really satisfied with the end result for the painting, and his mom just really loved it. But throughout the process of doing a commission for their mom, the sister saw me online working on it, and so she commissioned me to do this painting of her and her brother. So as soon as this is finished, this will be getting shipped off to Virginia as well. So, and then I have another commission coming up. I think the lady said she was going to give me a deposit on the 30th, which is tomorrow. I think. I don't know. I think the day is the 29th or whatever. But so I should be starting on another project that's going to be a little bit larger than this. It's going to be a 24 by 36 inch canvas, and but yeah, I really do hope that she actually loves this painting when she gets it in her hand in person. It looks really different in person. I know I got the camera close, but the light from the room always puts a glare on the canvas, and I don't know, the camera is still not the human eye. So when you actually see it with your own eyes, it looks a lot different. And I just hope that, you know, they're satisfied with it. But that's why I just been up trying to work on it and get this thing done. And on to the next project. This might not be a long stream, guys, because you ought to seen the last one I did of him, yo. That last painting, man, it was really, really good. I kind of like did this really cool background on it. I even spray painted on the canvas a little bit, and I don't know, it had this nice blue background. Go to my my Instagram, Paintings by the Prince, and you'll see it, yeah. Glover Campbell Dalcour. You got a long name, man. Damn, Michael, you got a long name, man. Fantanto. Yeah, this piece is I'm really excited for the finishing of this piece. I think it's gonna be a real good one, yeah.
Let us assume that our technological knowledge
Just a little bit more to go. I can work on it today and tomorrow, and maybe I can finish it up over the
feel
weekend.
alienated from it, or people who love the physical world and feel that the physical world is their own personal body. An extension, the whole physical universe, right out to the galaxies, is simply one's extended body. Now, at the moment, the general attitude of our technologists who are exploring space is represented in the term
Yeah, I know who she is.
space. And they are building enormous shell-like phallic objects to go into the sky.
Yeah, I know her. Fuck that shit.
And this is downright ridiculous. Who is going to get anywhere in a rocket? You know, it takes a terrible long time even to get to the moon. And it's going to take longer than anybody can live to get outside the solar system, just to begin with. The proper way to study space is not with rockets, but with radio astronomy. Instead of going bang, you know, with a tough fist at the sky, become more sensitive.
it's all good. I'm not worrying about her. You know what I'm saying?
Develop subtler senses. Let it come to you.
One monkey don't stop the show.
Are the only sensible beings in the
One
universe.
monkey don't stop the show.
Then you make a great contrast between man and nature, and you classify nature as being perfectly stupid and automatic, whereas all intelligence resides in man. And therefore, boys, you've got to roll up your sleeves and fight this system and make it accord with the human will. Well, all you've said by saying that is I'm a tough kind of a guy. It's really what it comes down to. And I'm not pushed over by woolly ideas. On the other hand, if you can look at it from a completely opposite point of view, you say, well, this whole world is an enormous intelligence. It's a great conscious being, and I'm one of its operations. And really, then I've said the other end of the stick. I've put everything up. You see, the people who are tough believe that reality is in the direction of mineral.
I'm listening to...
And the people who are enthusiastic about the universe believe that the more biological...
This is called Alan Watts Chill Step Mix number 2. So Alan Watt is like a philosopher, intellectual lecturer. He talks about Zen Buddhism and a couple of other different Asian and Indian ideas on spirituality. And he used to give like these lectures back in his 60s, 70s, and but somebody took some excerpts from his lectures and just put like some chill step music behind it, and it turned out pretty fucking cool. So it's called Alan Watts, A-L-A-N Alan, W-A-T-T-S is his last name, Watts, W-A-T-T-S, Chill Step. And if you put in Alan Watts Chill Step, several different mixes will come up. I think there's like 12 or 13 of them. But I'm listening to number 2 right now.
or indeed mental end of things is more basic than the geological. Geology down here and say that's the fundamental thing and everything else is grown up on it. Or you can put consciousness up here and say, well, everything descended from consciousness into the domain of geology. And it depends sort of on a psychic mood as to which one you prefer, because there is no way of verifying either. Both, you see, are gestures.
Yeah, it's some good shit, right? It's pretty fucking dope, yo. This one right here, I've actually listened to it like several times, and it's still not old to me yet. But like all the mixes, I listen to all of them. They're really good, yo. I see. That's exactly why you're in here, bro. Like, for the simple fact that you came into a stream that's called Art and Education. I already know. Like, people don't come in my stream and comment, just like the normal people don't come in here and sit around and chill with me and comment about my art and the music. Just because you asked about the art and talking about this music I'm listening to, I already know you're fucking different from the average person. You know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers see some shit called Art and Education, they're gonna automatically skip over that shit. Like, I'm not really in the mood for education right now. Got any sports and entertainment laying around here? Some gaming somewhere? That's what I like. Let's listen to some of that Justin Bieber, because he just did a track with Pitbull, and that shit is all that. And but we're not into that shit over here, bro. That's not our cup of tea. That's not what's in our bag. You know? So yeah, you're a weird motherfucker, bro. You are weird as shit. You're up early in the morning watching some black dude paint. What the fuck is wrong with you?
One of the
listening to some
motivating forces, there were several.
Some theologian, theology,
feeling that we had
philosophy,
demonstrable superiority
chill step, like what
beyond
the
all other people. We had succeeded the most through our technological skill in pushing the world around, and everybody else ought to submit to these benefits. And this is still a basic premise of American politics, or rather a justification of it. It, of course, is a historical descendant of our former spiritual imperialism, that we had the best religion. Even without knowing anything about other people's religions, we knew already that we had the true one. I had the most amusing discussion some time ago with a Jehovah's Witness, and he said, don't you think if there were a God, and he really loved and was concerned for the human race, that he would provide us with an infallible textbook in which we would be able to find out the truth and know what was right and wrong? Implying, of course, that the Bible was this book. I said, oh dear me, no. A God who loved the human race would never ruin their minds with any such document. Because, after all, if you have a document which tells you what to do, you don't need to use your intelligence. Then, but he said, the Bible is true. I said, that's your opinion. He said, my opinion? They're quite sure that somewhere in all these efforts that go round and round, there's an answer. And the problem which is requiring an answer, is, of course, can I defeat the universe? Can I, as ego, escape from suffering? Can I somehow or other beat the game and not have to take black along with white and darkness along with light? So when he has been involved in disciplines and attempts, all of which are designed to bring this nonsense goal about, he discovers empirically that it can't be done.
Yeah. See, that's the thing though, man. Being weird is actually being normal. Nowadays, being normal is being a fucking sheep. And I'm not a fucking
He
sheep.
discovers
yo,
that
so
he has
fuck
posed
that.
himself a problem.
But
about which
you
he
want to be
can't
normal
live.
like everyone
Also
else
about
and just
which
be
he
a
can't
fucking
live nothing.
drone, a cyborg,
And
a
he arrives
sheep,
at
or
total
whatever,
frustration.
then that's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's you.
And so
If
he
you wanna
asks,
be a-
what is the meaning of this?
If you want to be awake,
does it
and
mean
you want to
that
be
I'm-
conscious, and you want to be alert and aware of yourself, then you can't be normal. You know what I'm saying? Normality nowadays won't allow for you to take into question more complex concepts. Fuck that. I realize I've never been normal, but then I didn't see that I wasn't normal until I tried to fit in with normal people, and it's like, yo, fuck this. Fuck this bullshit. I'm not into your fucking reality shows. I'm not into your fucking sports. I'm not into your fucking lame ass religions. I'm not trying anymore to be, you know, to get along with normal people. Yeah. Normality is for the fucking birds.
So in the same way, when we look at the history of philosophy, and moreover, at the history of civilizations expressing various philosophical and religious myths, we see again the circle. That they are all
I swear I really did. I used to try to fit in all the time. The shit don't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you can't fit in, don't force yourself to fucking fit, yeah.
and anything that we do,
It's good to learn how to adapt to situations,
there's no way
but
out.
that's all.
Even if you describe nature as red and
Adaptability. You know, be able to survive
poetic way
in an unfamiliar climate or situation is a good skill. But having to adapt
think they're very genteel pussycats.
completely and redefine yourself, nah. Nah. No, thank you. Exactly. I pushed away from my art for years, trying to fucking fit in. You know what I'm saying? Cause art is for pussies, and drawing and painting is for faggots and white men. Like, so I stayed away from that shit because I was trying to fit in.
Philosophy
with the cool gangster drug dealer rappers. That shit wasn't me. Shit ain't even felt right, really. But you know what does feel right? Sitting behind my easel with some brushes and some good ass gambling paint. Painting up a storm. This is what feels right to me right now. This is nice. Chilling like a villain. Do what feels right.
Whether there was a God, but they continued to look upon the creation as an artifact, as a machine.
We all got a gift. Just gotta figure out what it is.
When you go to the hospital for a medical examination, you are treated as a machine. They process you. You are not a person. You are put in a wheelchair immediately. Even if you're perfectly healthy and can walk, nevertheless they have to have you in this wheelchair. And they put you through a process. And the heart specialist looks only at your heart because he can't understand anything else. The otorhinolaryngologist, which means an ear, nose, and throat man, looks at that section of you, and he doesn't know about anything else. And maybe a psychiatrist takes a look at you, and goodness knows what happens there, and so on and so on. Everybody looks at you with their specialized point of view, as if they were a bunch of mechanics examining your automobile. Now let me take a second theory of nature. This is an Indian theory. Nature not as an artifact, but as drama. Basic to all Hindu thought is the idea that the world is maya, which means many things. It means magic, illusion, art, play. All the world's a stage. And in the Hindu idea, there is the ultimate reality of the universe is the self, which they call Brahman, or Atman. That's what there is. The self, universal, eternal, boundless, indescribable. And all of us share this self in common because it is pretending to be all of us. he does it for unspeakably long periods of time. The Hindus measure time in what is called a kalpa, K-A-L-P-A. That's 4,320,000 years. It's not meant to be taken literally. But just for an unspeakably long time, the Brahman, the self, pretends that it's lost and is us. And all our adventures and all our troubles and all our agonies and tragedies, it gets mixed up in them.
Yeah, I don't have work today. I can't sleep. But that's just it though. Like not being able to sleep, it's okay. Fuck it, I'll go to the studio. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night. Okay, I'll show you. Better go do something productive. And then some people like, oh, what time do you normally stream? I don't have a schedule for my stream. I stream like, especially on my days off, whenever I feel like it. 2 o'clock in the morning, or 9 o'clock in the morning, or noon time, or 3 o'clock, or 6 o'clock in the evening. Whenever I feel like it. I love it.
Let's rest a while. So for another 4,320,000 years, the divine self rests and knows who it is. It's me. Then it says, well, this is rather boring. Let's get going again. Let's get mixed up. And it does it in a very strange way because the way the Hindus time it, the first period of getting mixed up, getting lost, is beautiful. Everything's right. It's just life is glorious. Then it has the next period in which things get a little wonky. Something is vaguely out of order. That doesn't last so long. Then the next period, the third, is when good and evil are equally balanced. And that's still not so long. Finally comes the shortest period when everything bad triumphs and the whole thing blows up and we begin all over again. We're supposed to be living in that now. It's what's called the Kali Yuga, the age of darkness. And it began on Friday, February the 23rd, 3123 BC. And it has 5,000 years to run. But as it goes on, time gets faster, so don't worry. So you see, that's the theory of nature as a drama. It's a play. Now there's a third theory of nature, which is Chinese. And this is very interesting. The Chinese word for nature, they call zhiran. And this expression means of itself so. What happens of itself. Spontaneity.
Yeah, that's me.
It almost means automatic, because automatic is what is self-moving. Only we associate the word automatic with machinery. But zhiran, what is so of itself, is associated in the Chinese mind not with machinery, but with biology. Your hair grows by itself. You don't have to think how to grow it. Your heart beats by itself. You don't have to make up your mind how to beat it. That's what they mean by nature. The poem says, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes and grass grows of itself. So their principle of nature is called a Tao, T-A-O, pronounced Tao in the Mandarin dialect, Tao in the Shanghai dialect, Tao in the Cantonese dialect. Take your choice. Tao, means the course of nature. And Lao Tzu, who was a philosopher who lived a little later than 400 BC, wrote a book about the Tao. And he said, the Tao which can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. You can't describe it. He said the principle of the Tao is spontaneity. He said the great Tao flows everywhere, both to the left and to the right. It loves and nourishes all things, but does not lord it over them. It accomplishes merits and lays no claim to them. The Tao does not act as a boss. In the Chinese philosophy of nature, nature has no boss. There is no principle that forces things to behave the way they do. It is a completely democratic theory of nature. Correspondingly, you see, most Westerners, whether they be Christians or non-Christians, don't trust nature. Of all things, nature is the thing least to be trusted. You must manage it. You must watch out for it. It will always go wrong if you don't watch out. You know, the goblins will get you if you don't watch out. So we're always feeling that you can't trust it. See, we're absolutely instilled with the idea of original sin. You can't trust nature because it comes out with weeds and insects. And above all, you can't trust human nature, because if you don't hold a club over yourself, you'll go out and rape your grandmother. You've got to trust it.
You don't have to, you know, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to go on living. But it's a great idea, it's a great thing, if you can learn what the Chinese call purposelessness. They think nature is purposeless. When we say something's purposeless, that's put down. There's no future in it. It's a washout. When they hear the word purposeless, they think that's just great. It's like the waves washing against the shore, going on and on and on forever. There's no meaning. Like the birds in the trees go, tree, what's it all about? Everybody tries to say, it's a mating call. It's purpose. Trying to get their mate. Engineering view of the universe. Why do that? They say, well, it's because they need to survive. Or why survive? What's that for? Well, to survive. And they say, well, that's terribly serious. Off the important, you've got to keep on doing it. Now, when Chinese say nature is purposeless, this is a compliment. It's like the idea of the Japanese have a word, yugen, and they describe yugen as watching wild geese fly and be hidden in the clouds, as wandering on and on in a great forest with no thought of return. Haven't you done this? Haven't you gone on a walk with no particular purpose in mind? You carry a stick with you and you occasionally hit at old stumps and wander along and sometimes twiddle your thumbs. It's at that moment that you are a perfectly rational human being.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. I can't hardly stand straight up. Fucking shit, yo.
I remember the preachers used to say,
I think I pulled something like right
we
here.
must follow God's purpose. His
Oh
purpose
my
for
God.
you and his purpose for me.
Yeah, guys, I didn't even lie, like, I feel my back getting a little stiff. I think I'm gonna go sit back on that heating pad for a minute. Oh my God, I feel so old. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go get on that heating pad and probably take a ibuprofen or something. My fucking back is hurting, yo. I feel too young for this shit. Why? How am I having back problems so early? But this painting is coming along nicely, yo. I can't wait till it's done. I have one more day off after today, so later on today and tomorrow I'm really gonna try to hit it hard. I might be able to finish it up tomorrow, but we'll see. So I get this one done and jump right into the next collection. I know a lot of my art has been on the back burner for a while, but hey, that's what happens when you get busy with business, you know. I love painting stuff for myself, but I like selling art too, so whenever I can get a sale, I definitely put that as priority above my own projects. So a couple weeks ago, I started like 5 or 6 paintings and really haven't, I really haven't been able to get to them lately, but it's all good. I'll definitely have some time coming up in the future to get back to my own projects and show you guys some of the stuff that I've been thinking about. But oh my God, I am really in pain right now. Like, yo, my back is really fucking sore. Yes, I think I'm gonna sit on the heating pad for a minute. Probably get me another cup of coffee, stay up for like another hour, and see if I can lay back down later on. But this is crazy, yo, that I got a couple new viewers so early in the morning. That's why another reason I do like to stream at different times. People are like, oh, what time do you stream? If I always stream at 9 o'clock in the morning, just like a regular talk show or morning news or something, if I always had that same viewing time, then I would miss people who go to work at 7 o'clock in the morning and they don't get off until 5:30, and they would never be able to catch my show live. So I try to stream like various times just to pick up a different audience. And so when it's, when it's midnight here on the East Coast in America, it's already 7 o'clock in Germany somewhere, and I'll be catching some early morning Germans or some people in Japan or Holland or Amsterdam or just some night crawlers who can't sleep right now and just want something to entertain them until they can't fall asleep. So it's always awesome. Michael, thanks for coming in here and checking me out. There was another new guy who was in here too, but anyway, guys, you guys are awesome. Appreciate all the compliments, all the comments, the great discussions, and peace. Until next time.